Isn't this great? The salty sea air, the wind blowing in your face, a perfect day to be at sea. The Little Mermaid, a classic, an art piece, and a passion project that captured the hearts of millions of fans worldwide since its release in 1989. And now, it's time for its remake to do the same. The story of Ariel, a curious and adventurous mermaid princess who dreams of exploring the human world, has become an iconic part of the Disney canon. So, it's only fitting that we celebrate its upcoming adaptation. Remember, even if you consider yourself a super fan of The Little Mermaid, there are probably some surprising and lesser known fun facts about the movie that you might not know. From the film's original draft to its last-minute deleted scenes, there are plenty of fascinating tidbits to discover. So, sit back, grab your Ariel plush, and let's make a splash into the world of The Little Mermaid as we explore some of the movie's most exciting trivia. Before we take a close look at what could have been, let's take a look at who was originally going to be part of the project. Melissa Phan, who you might know for her roles in many 9 dubs and as Gaz and Invader Zim, had a sweet and youthful voice which was a perfect fit for the part of Ariel. Or so she thought. Let's just say that fate had other plans as her voice was deemed too young. Imagine that. But Phan was not the only one to face disappointment in the audition room. 2 other big-name actors, Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick, also tried their best to audition for the role of Prince Eric, the charming prince who wins Ariel's heart. And yeah, you heard that right, Jim Carrey. Just imagine Eric saying things like "smoking." And if there's one thing the new adaptation and the classic animated feature have in common, it's definitely their weird initial casting choices. Likewise, people such as Lindsay Lohan, Chris Evans, and even Harry Styles have expressed interest in appearing in the forthcoming movie, but those ideas have been reportedly scrapped. Oh, and did we mention that Lizzo also auditioned for the role of Ursula? You can't make this stuff up.
My voice?
You've got it, sweet cakes. No more talking.
Oh, but like with any film, it's not just the casting choices that got shifted. For example, some iconic tunes were gonna be unrecognizable. The original version of Part of Your World had Ariel specifically naming objects, but co-director John Musker pointed out that it would clash with the gag of Scuttle's explanations, so Howard Ashman changed the lyrics to gadgets and gizmos. Even then, the tone was going to be more bittersweet, but it was rewritten to become triumphant and hopeful, you know, for the kids. Did you also know that Andrew Lloyd Webber was originally approached to write the score, but it never happened because his vision was considered too dark for Disney? Yeah, the same Webber who's mainly known for his arrangements in stuff like Phantom of the Opera and, well, Jesus Christ Superstar. That guy. However, he did at the very least draft a melody for the titular character, which would later become With One Look from the Sunset Boulevard musical.
You look wonderful. Come, you must be...
Cast and tunes aside, what about our cult classic characters? Some characters underwent significant changes, while others had their scenes removed for pacing. Most notably, Ursula's design went through various iterations, including being based on a lionfish and even a snake-like creature, but the animators ultimately chose an octopus due to the tentacles. Celine, a villain from the Aladdin TV series, was even based on Ursula's old concept art. Then there's our protagonist, Ariel, who was originally envisioned as a blonde, but the animators didn't want her to be thought as a ripoff of the heroine in Splash. Scene-wise, one scrapped concept had Ariel and Flounder trying to rush to Eric's wedding barge, but being ambushed by Glut the shark, who ends up literally exploding. You can probably guess why they scrapped it. Then there's Vanessa, Ursula's human form, whose role also went through some changes. She was initially meant only to persuade Eric to choose her over Ariel instead of outright hypnotizing him. The wedding was originally set to take place in the castle instead of on a boat, and Ursula's death was supposed to involve her being impaled by the ship's bow, but it was changed to her being struck by lightning and exploding. Wait, weren't we just saying that explosions were too violent? I guess they decided it's better to have one explosion rather than one impalement.
I can't quite figure it out.
She got legs, you idiot.
Just think about how many scrapped storyboards and sketches have been lost to time at Disney. To top it all off, some characters like Ariel's mom even had entire character arcs and backstories removed. In an alternative storyboard, she was called Atlanta, and although she shared some similarities with Ariel, she had distinctly brown hair instead. The idea was that Atlanta would befriend a human artist named Duncan, who became famous after painting a portrait of her. Unfortunately, a rival discovers that Atlanta is a mermaid and becomes jealous of Duncan's success, which itself leads to an attempted murder. In the end, Atlanta sacrifices herself to save Duncan, which causes Triton to develop a deep hatred for humans. Can't say this version of the backstory wouldn't have been interesting, that's for sure. We hope you learned some new and interesting facts about this beloved animated masterpiece. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our Rhino community for more trivia and videos about your favorite movies and TV shows, especially Disney ones. Feel free to tell us in the comments what your favorite Disney Renaissance classic is. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in our next aquatic deep dive.